And with us now to discuss the likelihood of a peace deal in Europe is Jim Gilmore, former U.S. ambassador to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Ambassador, are we going to see a deal come out of this?
Well, we have no idea, and I would remind everybody that I'm not in government, so I'm not in the middle of these negotiations, so I don't know how possible the negotiations are. But the first thing that I want to emphasize to your viewers is to remember that what's going on here is that Russia has a goal and objective in mind. If they've been relentless about it, they've paid over 1 million people dead and wounded to try to achieve it, and their goal is the elimination of Ukraine, period. And I think they'll continue to do that through negotiations on the battlefield. And they'll continue to do it until they're stopped. Now, that being said, there are a lot of discussions now going on. Secretary Rubio believes that perhaps things are making some sort of progress. But frankly, the first 28-point plan was clearly Russia's plan. There's a question, no doubt of it. They want to acquire all the land that they not only have, but that they have not yet conquered. They want to make sure NATO troops can never station on Ukraine, which means there can't be any real security agreements. They want to completely obtain their objectives. And the most important thing is they want a legal recognition of their conquests. And my position has been consistent throughout that can never happen. That's what they're fighting for. They're fighting for the rest of the world to agree that their conquests are legitimate, and they're not. And as long as that's not conceded, sooner or later, they will end up having to withdraw from Ukraine.
And no more than yourself, President Zelensky, he didn't seem too enthused about that 28-point plan himself. But as President Trump has put it before, is Zelensky and Ukraine, are they holding any of the cards here?
Sure. All the reports seem to be that Russia is in a lot of trouble. Not only have they lost so many of their people, the sanctions are hurting them. Their oil economy, which is almost all they have, is in a shambles. They're a pariah on the world stage. Many of the people that they've been selling things to in order to keep their war machine going are not buying anymore. I think that Russia is much more frail, and I believe that they are desperate to get a deal so that they can extract themselves from this terrible situation that they're in. I think this is the time to press them, not simply give something away to them.
So as you say, the sanctions have been ramped up recently on Russia and its oil exports. Does the U.S. or Europe have any other leverage to pressure Putin into a deal?
Well, I think that we need to be continuing to give the Ukrainians what they need to defend themselves. And then in addition to that, there's the Senate has a sanctions bill that they're seriously have been considering for a while that they should pass right now in order to make it very clear to the Russians that they're not going to be able to prevail in this war. If we keep sending messages that, well, maybe we'll give a little, get a little, maybe it's going to be okay, then if you just keep on fighting, Vladimir, maybe you'll come out of this ahead. As long as we keep sending those kinds of messages, there's no reason to believe that Russia's ever going to agree to anything. Now, take note of the fact that, first of all, I think they actually put this 28 plan forward themselves. Then they maneuvered things so it looked like an American proposal. We were back and forth on that as to whether it was Russian or whether it was American. And then the Russians rejected it. Now, that is a great negotiating tactic. You write your plan, get the other side to agree it's their plan, and then you reject it and get the Americans negotiating against themselves. Finally, the Europeans come in with another plan that may protect Europe in the future, and they reject that. So I once again say that we can negotiate because, something may happen that I'm not privy to. But it would seem to me that we never need to forget what the ultimate goal of the Russians are, and they are not going to relent until they achieve it, which is the reassembly of their empire, starting with Ukraine.
We see shots of Marco Rubio just now in Ukraine. He was extremely positive coming out of those meetings. He said he needs to speak with European leaders and get their input on certain things. Europe, of course, has taken a more hardline approach and not giving Putin what he wants. But over the weekend, President Trump, he called Europe out for continuing to buy Russian oil. What do you make of this?
Well, I haven't seen that. But I think that my counsel to the president would be to toughen up at this point and to not let the Russians play our envoys in any way, shape, or form. As far as economic elements of a New Deal, that's fine, but it's not the real answer here. The answer is that all the principles of modern civilization say that you have territorial integrity of your country, that you cannot conquer another country by force, and these principles are being violated by the Russians. And if they get to do it because of some sort of economic side deal, then frankly, that becomes the new rule for the 21st century. And that, I believe, leads us directly into a much larger, big war. And that's what I have been arguing against. I don't think we want to have that war. And the best way to do it is to stop Russia now.
Ambassador Jim Gilmore, thank you, sir.
Thank you.